Chikula. So what we have here is a sheet that I did not give to you. It's not in your package. So I posted it on today's lesson site, and so you can have a copy, and at least online you can see it in color. Normally I would photocopy it. In the old days we had Science 10 provincial exams, and it would be part of a booklet. So this is not stuff you would memorize. You'd just be able to use and interpret the information on this chart. So we're going to try to explain what it means. And what you see is, as you go to the left, things become strongly acidic. Around 7, pH of 7, that's neutral. And on the right, as you go up to 13, 14, things become more basic or alkaline. And so what it's done is it's identified different objects or materials and told you their approximate pH. And if the pictures don't make sense, you say, what on earth is that? You look above and you say, oh, that's a stomach. Cleverly, that's a lemon, etc. Well, what does this mean? In grade 12, we spent a long time on acids and bases. And if you look at this shaded area, you have the gray is shading for the H+. That's the ion that gives acidic properties. And you have OH-, which gives the basic properties in water. Well, if you look at pH 7, and you look at how long this line is here, and down below how long it is, how long is the gray versus the white, they are equal. And when it's equal, they are neutral. So neither side 1, and that's a pH of 7. When we go down to milk at a pH of 6, what we do is we see we have slightly more H+ than OH-. And that trend continues. When you're down to the pH of your stomach, you'll see that you've got a lot of the gray representing the H+, and very little OH-. Similarly, when we go the other way, what we see is, if let's say we're looking at ammonia, ammonia is a pH of 11, so we have a lot of OH- present and a lot less H+. So really that's what pH is doing, it's comparing the amounts of those things. Now it does it in terms of something called concentration. That's a Chemistry 11 topic. And what happens is, if I go from a pH of 3 to 2, the lemon is 10 times more acidic than the grapes. Then if I go from a pH of 2 to 1, the stomach is going to be 10 times more acidic than the lemon, or 100 times more acidic than the grapes. So every change of 1 is a power of 10. So if you change by 3 on here, that would be 10 to the third. So the stomach is 1,000 times more acidic than a tomato. So that's how you deal with the top chart. Now we look at this. And this is a chart of indicators. And some of these indicators we'll use, the phenolphthalein, bromothiamyl blue, the other ones, and the litmus, and the other ones you might run into in Chemistry 12. What this is saying is, if we have methyl orange, it's red at a pH of 3 and below. It's yellow at a pH of 4 and above. And then what we'd expect is to get some sort of orange color if we're in a pH, say, of 3.5. We look at methyl red, it operates slightly differently. Red, once we're below, say, 4.5, and it's going to be yellow above 6, and in the mixed zone again, you'll get some sort of orange color. If you look at bromothiamyl blue, it splits almost at the 7. It splits, it's basically going to change color in just under 7. So if we're below 6, it's yellow. If we're above 7, it's going to be blue. And if we're at a pH of 6.5, we would expect to get, say, a green color there. Red litmus and blue litmus split right at the 7. So if we're red, which would actually be pink, then it's going to be acidic. And if it's blue, which actually will appear purple, that's just the crazy way these things are, it will be basic. Phenolphthalein is colorless, even into slightly basic, up around 8, but then it goes this pinkish magenta color. And indigo carmine changes way over in the basic scale, so it's very hard to make it yellow. You have to get all the way up to 13 or more to make it turn yellow, otherwise you'd expect it to be blue. So again, you don't memorize all the stuff on this, you have to be able to look at it, interpret it, And sadly, you don't get a provincial exam anymore. Those days are done like dinner. So that's the pH chart that you would be allowed to have, and that's it for now.